Shalom. My name is Michael Decker, and I'm a lawyer within the law offices of Cohen Decker Pex and Brosh. Today, I wanted to discuss a matter that arises a lot in our country and that our office deals with a lot. And it is in regards to an Israeli that is outside of the country and meets a foreign female spouse and has relations with her and has a child outside of the country. Whether the Israeli and the foreign spouse are married or not married is irrelevant, but the relevant point that I want to discuss now is the status of the child. The Israeli usually is happy that he became a father. He goes to the Israeli embassy, wherever he is, and wants to register the child. And most of the time, the Israeli embassy will not agree to register the child. And in a situation like this, the Israeli father finds himself in an awkward situation, an inconvenient situation, because in his eyes, of course, he's the father, and why should he now prove what to him is obvious? However, the legal situation with all the embassies is almost always that they will require what's called a paternity DNA test by the father in order to prove that he really is the father before they will issue the child a passport and identity as an Israeli citizen. An additional factor that makes things even more complicated is that in Israel, in order to conduct the DNA test, you must go through the family court in order to have a judge confirm that a licensed lab in Israel can conduct the test. And this is due to various religious stipulations in Judaism of preventing a child from being what's called a mamzel, or a bastard, which is based on Jewish Toraic laws. For example, if there is a couple of Israelis where the male and female are both, let's say, from Ethiopia and African, and now the wife gives birth to a child that's Chinese, for example, so that the male spouse, the husband, knows, or spouse or husband or whatnot, knows for a fact that the child is not his, because it doesn't make sense that he would have a Chinese child. So in a situation like this, he won't be able to, if he's married, he won't be able to submit a paternity lawsuit to prove that this child is not his child, because by proving that this child is not his child, he turns the child into a mamzel, and a judge will not even approve that a lab will conduct a DNA test in a situation like this. So because of this, every request for a DNA test has to go through a judge, and a judge has to approve this in advance. However, another problem arises when the relevant father and his spouse and the birth have all taken place abroad. And that is that the child cannot even come to Israel before he's confirmed as an Israeli citizen, because he doesn't have a passport, an Israeli passport. And many times he might be in a country that doesn't even have a visa relationship with Israel, so his other passport won't allow him to come to Israel. So because of this, there is a special policy called, in Hebrew, Nohal Chul, which is the policy of being outside of the country. And according to this policy, there's a special representative within the Israeli embassy who will collect DNA samples in a special tube, and these DNA samples will be sent to the relevant lab in Israel, so the father and the child can go to the embassy while they're abroad, and then the lab in Israel will conduct DNA testing. If the DNA testing is positive and there is a DNA connection and biological proof between the father and child, then the lab will issue an opinion, and the opinion will be sent to the judge, and the judge will issue a paternity order. With this paternity order, the father can then go to the Israeli embassy and issue for the child a passport, and then the child will be able to come to Israel and be registered as an Israeli. And regarding the spouse, if the father wants also to bring the foreign spouse to the country and to naturalize her, we have other informative articles and videos on the matter that you can watch. If you would like us to assist you with this process, you can feel free to contact us. And if you have any further questions on the matter, you can also feel free to contact us. Thank you very much for your time.